In today's video, I take a look at some progress from the Embraer Jets team with their Embraer 170. A short video taking a look at just a little update from the team over there. Before we get into it, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and then once you've done that, you can proceed into the video. Jokes aside, let's begin. Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud. Welcome back. I'm getting all the news in today's video off the Embraer Jets Discord, of which I've linked in the description. I recommend you check it out alongside watching this video to stay up to date. Nonetheless, let's get into it. So this update brings us a bunch of information and indeed plenty of beautiful screenshots with their Embraer 170-100 standard. This update is from the 16th of January 2021, so not that long ago, which means it's pretty up to date. Let's see what we get. We get a beautiful cockpit interior shot taking a look at the cockpit in what would be a pretty early cold and dark state. Now by the looks of it, this is in Blender and indeed not in Microsoft Flight Sim. I can just work that out by looking outside the windows and that kind of smoother finish you get. But just look at it, this looks payware level. I use that word sparingly, but it really does. It's getting there, and as soon as I hop it into the sim, which I have done already, it looks incredible. Now what do we get from this screenshot in collaboration with the text? Well, if we go down to the pedestal, you can see it says spoilers bug fixed. Not too sure what that means. I'm guessing it's a visual bug more than anything. Moving down, you can see that ignition switches are complete and the start, run and stop switches are complete. Now moving down to interior of the changelog, you can see it says cockpit models adjusted with some animations redone. So I'm guessing they're getting very far in depth with their cockpit already, and as you can see, that's paid off. However, at the end they say they're pending new models and UV maps for the cockpit, so we've still got a bit of waiting to do. Now, you can kind of see at the top there, we've got the MCP above the kind of panels. Well, that's the autopilot panel, of course. Bunch of fixes there and improvements, such as the master switch being complete, as well as the heading hold, altitude hold, flight level change button, all being complete. Plenty of buttons basically now in place, not necessarily working in the sim, but being modelled and being textured. And if we use this photo, you can see it zoomed in that yes, they're coming along. This is an in-game shot, and just look down below, we've got some of the screens working. Of course, going off some of the former Embraer Jets updates, we know the aircraft is working somewhat in the game already. Now moving a bit higher to the overhead panel, this area is looking really good. Exceptionally good, literally like they pulled it out of the sim of a working aircraft. And once again, it's still early work in progress. Nonetheless, it looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, just look at all the switches correctly in place, nothing looking out of the ordinary, all looking very nice, textured nicely, although admittedly looking a bit plain in places. I'm sure it could do with a bit of sprucing up in terms of adding a few kind of dirty or unclean textures to make it more realistic, but I guess that's my personal preference. Now moving back down to the MCP, you can see we get this interesting night shot that shows us how the lighting is looking, and I have to say, lighting is looking beautiful. Now we do get a blurred shot of the FMC down below, kind of looks like the default Airbus one at the moment, so not much to draw from there, but nonetheless it is a really blurry image, so that's me speculating there. Now we move to outside, and this photo, which is being used as a thumbnail, my goodness does it look beautiful, exceptional. Modelling is spot on, this is a really promising aircraft. Now we've only got one kind of positive from the exterior changelog, and that's more shading fixes and more on the way. There's nothing negative, no minuses here, so that's all we're getting, and you can see it does look beautiful. Moving to a photo of the aircraft flying through the air, it does look very shiny, admittedly, very reflective, probably more so than it does in real life, but nonetheless it looks beautiful. Engines are so well modelled, and that to me has been a real highlight so far, as I've pointed out in other videos. That's basically all we can take from the changelog. We've got a few more screenshots left. This is one with the aircraft sitting next to a United A320. You know, clearly still needs some work in places in terms of texturing, and I would say a bit of fuselage modelling, but right at the front of the cockpit towards the nose, it's looking very good, and once again the engine does stand out here. The gear is looking a bit undone in terms of not being fully there yet, but I guess they're working on it. From the back of the engine, once again you can see the really superb modelling there, and you get a better look at the gear assembly and it needing a bit more work to be a bit more realistic. It looks a bit like Play-Doh at the moment, but I guess that's not their priority at the current time. It's just getting the aircraft to a state where it looks decent and can fly, and remember, you're getting this for free. Now, it is the first major E170 update of the year, and you've also got to remember the E170 can somewhat be transferred over to the likes of the E175, the E190 and E195. They're not exactly the same, but any progress here can be applied to the whole family. Now, there is a bit of an update I missed from late last year on the 30th of December, so I'm a bit behind on this one. And you can see we've got some really beautiful cockpit shots. Now, you can see on the FMC we've got a radio panel which doesn't look anything like the Airbus one, although you can see the similarities. It's clear they're working on a completely different system here. Also notice the reflections in the windscreen. That really sticks out to me as something that looks absolutely amazing. The custom primary flight display, brilliant. Navigation display clearly needs a bit more work, but nonetheless is coming along nicely. And the ECAS screen, or whatever the Embraer equivalent is, either ECAM, I think it is ECAS, I can't lie. You can see it's reading some engine temperatures and pressures there nicely. Of course, it's not perfect and there's still plenty of time to go, but also notice we've got the gear and some sort of trim indicator down there as well that seems to be somewhat functional. Really good job, guys, keep it up. I am blown away consistently by this project. We've also got a bit of formation flying going on here. You can see the screen whited out down there. I'm not too sure whether that means it just doesn't work with the sim yet, but then to the left of that you've got the PFD, which is clearly reflecting the bank angle of this aircraft. Awesome, awesome job. Finally, I'm going to leave you with this shot of the aircraft somewhat departing and or landing, but most likely departing on a runway. Slightly off the centre line there, but I'm sure they're sorting it out. Guys at Uriburu Jets, all I can say is keep it up. This is looking really promising in terms of modelling, in terms of systems, which I think is the most important thing, frankly. The reason why I don't comment on freeware aircraft too much is because I have done it in the past, and then that kind of aircraft team goes out of business, or indeed just basically disbands, resulting in a bit of a clean-up project for me in terms of often either cutting out parts of the video, deleting the video, or reacting to angry people in the comments who aren't happy that I've just basically told them about a project that isn't there anymore. As a result, I only stick to a few kind of promising freeware projects that have been out for a while and seem to be progressing on well there. Of course, it's not always guaranteed to be successful in terms of me predicting what will come out, but so far I've been pretty secure with it. Nonetheless, I hope you've enjoyed this video taking a look at the Uriburu Jets E-Series, specifically focusing on the E170 with the majority of screenshots in this video today. The E170 is of course the first aircraft they'll be releasing, so yes, it's the one you should be getting excited for. Hopefully we'll be seeing it this year. From me today, that is all. Thank you so much to my first class channel members. They get a shout out now, so I'd like to say thank you to Jesse Wiseman, HXMe, Maxim LaBelle, Simon Schmidt, Siefra, Ethan Bebeck, Jonathan Desmond, Captain Matt Russell, Fanny Leibenberg, Hello, and Erwin K. These guys really do support me and it means so much. I'd also like to congratulate you all. We've hit our goal for the charity fundraiser that I've been talking about for months now. The fact we've hit it was incredible, and of course I did the skydive not that long ago. You can watch the video on that here. From me today, I'll see you around. Bye bye.